Is there an English equivalent of the Italian idiom non confondiamo l'oro con la tolla? In Italy we say non confondiamo l'oro con la tolla. Equals don't compare gold to tin, when someone compares a concrete or abstract, high-value thing to a low-value one. For example, Joe, latexi come word, equals latex is like word, Carla, per piacere, non confondiamo l'oro con la tolla. Equals please, don't compare gold to tin. Is there an English equivalent one? Edit. Replying to some criticism about my translation of confondiamo, I'd like to point out that confondere, literally, means to confuse. However, in this case, I think that to compare makes a better idea. Indeed, in Italian we have another idiom. Non è tutto oro quel c'è luce. Which is the exact translation of all that glitters is not gold. The expression non confondiamo l'oro con la tolla is used as a reply when someone puts on the same level two things with different value. Hence, I think that, in this case, to compare is more suitable than simply to confuse.
Not in the same ballpark. It means not good enough to be compared. Or similarly, not in the same league.
Not in the same league is very common. Joe, latex is like word. Carla, they are not even in the same league. Not in the same league means not at the same level or quality as someone or something, much superior or inferior to someone. Idiom corner. You can compare this with the another sports metaphor in the ballpark, and the already mentioned not in the same ballpark, which is commonly used to compare location or range. You might say the costs of using latex versus word are not in the same ballpark. This comes from the usage of ballpark to mean a location, area, range, within the boundaries of the park. It might be used like this. Joe, we need a word processor for work. I propose using word. Carla, that would be in the right ballpark, but I think we need something more flexible. I suggest latex. Joe, whoa. Latex is out of our league. We don't have time or the skills to learn how to use that. Or Joe might have said that's major league. The distinction between the two idioms is subtle and comes from usage, since idioms connote something different from their literal meaning. When you say she's out of my league, it means you are not good enough for her. From the baseball expression, a minor league player would not be playing in the same game with major league players. But they could play in the same ballpark.
There is a negative way of expressing this, by negating an expression normally used to group items as similar or roughly equivalent in some way. For example, these are not cut from the same cloth. You can also imply the sentiment, for example, don't mention them in the same sentence. Item 1 shouldn't be spoken of in the same breath as item 2. The latter usage depends on the following definition of in the same breath from Cambridge Idioms. If you talk about two people or things in the same breath, you think they are very similar.
We might use that's like comparing chalk and cheese. It's slightly different, I think, in that gold is more valuable than tin, so the Italian version definitely implies a hierarchy.
You could say that the two things are not even on the same level. When two things are on a level with equal with. They were treated as menials, on a level with cooks. So when the two things are not on the same level, one is superior to the other.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.